What is going on, guys? Craig 1287 here, and what is this that you are looking at? Well, this is the new computer prototype from Razer. This is what they're calling currently Project Christine. This is, again, a prototype from Razer. They just showed this off at CES. I will have a link in the video description down below to the website talking about the Christine. Well, you're not going to find any specs for this. This is basically just a concept of a modular PC, or what would be considered the most modular PC. And this thing, well, all right, we'll just take in some of the visuals. It looks pretty darn futuristic. This thing, it looks pretty cool. It's got the classical, Razer green going on, even though my Razer keyboard and mouse have blue. But hey, Razer's typically known to have that green look. And what is going on here? All right, well, for those of you guys that are console guys, one of the things usual for console people, when people are asked, why do you game on console and not PC? Sometimes price is an option there, and while I don't think that that's a fully legitimate thing, because you can actually build a pretty cheap gaming PC these days, that's typically an option that comes out. Another one is just simplicity, and that's what this computer is seeking to kind of solve. Valve has recently kind of done this with the Steam machines, trying to simplify the whole PC experience and make it very console-ish, in that the whole plug-and-play, the simplicity of it, with controller support and things like that. Well, this is kind of going at it from a somewhat different perspective. This is it's a modular PC. And I'm just going to have some other screenshots. This one right here is just sort of a close-up of that little image panel, and so this one doesn't really, this in that panel right there, that UI. I mean, all of that is very much prototype. But then this next image right here, this shows just a pure side view, and you've got all these different layers and components. And I could actually zoom in on some of these, and I'll have it pan across, and you'll see, reading some of these, they have labels on them, defining them as GPU or CPU or power supply, water cooling, I/O, which is input and output. Those are your things like your, plugging in your HDMI cords or DVI or your Ethernet. Those are your inputs and outputs of cords. What's the computer taking in? What's the computer putting out? Power, that would be an input. And you've got all these other different options. At the very top, you've got BD, which is the Blu-ray drive. So all of these are the different things. The main center part would be the motherboard, but obviously it would be very much a proprietary motherboard. No motherboard would fit in something like that. None are that tall and that skinny. And let's go to another image, and this shows you how these can go in and out. This is obviously not how it would look. The image right before this, that is how it would look when complete, but this is just showing how you can put these different stacks, these different levels in and out. They just slide and plug in. So let's go to probably the best image that shows what this really is, how this is working. Each of these sections, these towers, these floors or levels or whatever you want to call them, I'm sure they're going to come up with a name of these things. These are all the different parts that go into making a computer a computer. Your video card, your hard drive or solid state drive, your memory drive, your RAM, your drive for your optical media, whether it be CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays, or what have you. You have your input and outputs, which are typically directly on the motherboard, or at least from the case. And then your power supply and all these, and in this case it has liquid cooling, and I think this would obviously, or not obviously, but there's a chance that this would also allow for oil cooled. A lot of people do computers that are in oil to do the cooling, and they just are submerged in a vat of mineral oil, not vegetable oil. That would not be good. And But this would probably, in all likelihood, use liquid cooling, and you can see on the power supply liquid cooling box, the one that's at the base, has a little gauge on there. You can see how your water level is doing. So, and I'm going to zoom in on the part showing where these things connect. Now, each of these would probably, in all likelihood, have the same connecting panels. Some might be somewhat different, but obviously this is all, very much proprietary. You couldn't just go out and buy some separate thing. None of these are PCIe or none of these are the same connected. So this is all proprietary to Razer. And you'll see, but what it looks like is, one of these would be power. One of these gold sockets would be the one dishing out the power to the section that you connect to the main tower. And then one of these is the actual it being connected, one being the power, one being the one that actually connects it to the system and allows it to communicate with all of the other components with the motherboard. But the circle there on the left and right, that is, in all likelihood, probably the way in which the liquid cooling coolant, the water, would be entering the thing, the block, we'll just call them blocks, and then exiting the block as it goes from level to level to level to level. So that's probably how that is going to work, just based on the visual look of it. And so, but what does all this mean? All right. Now I've kind of been laughing. People have been posting on Reddit about this and discussing, and people keep saying, "Oh yeah, but that's probably going to cost $2,500 or $3,000." Again, PC gaming does not just mean the ultimate enthusiast build. Razer could have, that'll probably be there, and it's probably going to be a lot more expensive because you're having Razer, they have to get all of this stuff, and then they've got to have the labor and the tools to make all this, all the the actual physical aspects that go into making these bricks with the individual component that is inside of it, and it's all proprietary to it. So it's probably going to cost a little bit more than, well, maybe even a significant more than normal, but you don't have to get, a Titan in this. That would be very, very, very expensive. You don't have to get a 780 Ti. You don't have to get a 780 or by the time this releases, we might have the 800 series from NVIDIA, or whatever the equivalent series would be from AMD, the Radeon version. So you could still get the low-end components, obviously, with a slight increase in cost because of the it being all proprietary, but these things don't have to be expensive. There could be a version using this Christina. Was it Christina? Yeah, Christine. With this Christine build, with one of the lower end versions, like the from NVIDIA, the 760, something like that, which is in the lower end range. Not lower end, but medium end range. So you don't have to have the video cards that are $500-$600, and the CPUs don't have to be the ones that are $200-$300, and you don't have to have the high end things in this. So the price is up in the air. It'll range like any usual PC build ranges. You can have a low end build, medium end, high end, enthusiast build. You can have all sorts of things. But with this, it just makes it so simple. You literally just unplug it and plug it in. And that does the power, the connection, it does the water cooling for you. It does all of that stuff for you. You don't have to go in and do that. Cable management, there is none. All the cables are done inside of the brick and inside of the main component of this with the actual Razer logo there. All of that is just really, really easy. Now, one of the parts that I like about PC gaming is the act of building the PC. So that's very cool. But still, something like this for other people would probably be beneficial. I like building a computer. I like taking that hour, 2 hours, however many hours it takes to build a PC. Get your blood, sweat, and tears. It makes it more personal of an experience. That is your PC. You got all of that, and that's just part of what I enjoy, and many other PC gamers enjoy. But this right here definitely does add a level of simplicity that would be very appealing to a lot of people. Not only that, but it allows for things like renting. I can lease these parts. I can just kind of rent the 780 and pay a subscription or something like that. Every month I pay $20 to use. Well, I don't know. I mean, again, that pricing. This is all up in the air. None of this is set in stone. There might not even be any of this. I don't see why that would happen. There's a lot of money to be made there. But yeah, I would lease these components out, and I could rent them from Razer or from Newegg or Amazon or whatever. And I've got this component, the NVIDIA 780 brick that plugs in, and now the 790 is announced, or the 800 series gets announced, and I want the 880 or the 880 Ti or the overclocked for whatever it is that comes out. Now all I do is just ask them to send me the new one. I unplug this one, send it out in the mail. They send in the new one, and I plug it on in. And drivers get updated, and all good stuff has happened, and now and that's it. So it adds this level of rental or leasing or whatever it ends up being that PC hasn't really had. So it adds in this level of simplicity. It adds in this level of customization that is made easy, and it adds in this level of rental or whatever you want to call it. That is very cool. You can share it amongst friends. Hey, I've got the 780. Oh, I'm going out of town for a month. Hey, could I borrow your 780? You could do something like that if you trust the person enough to handle your $600 GPU that you are renting or have purchased. I mean, that's a very cool idea. That's a very cool just thought. Happening down the line. That's very cool. And then when you come back, you get it back from them. Or maybe you're not leaving. They just want to try it out on their computer. They've already got their key bindings and things set up, so they don't want to try it out on your computer. They've got their monitor with its resolution. They want to know what it would do in terms of performance if they were to get it for their own computer. So rather than Googling and seeing what are the benchmarks for this, they literally can just borrow yours. Just take it, plug it in. Oh, well, yeah. So the monitor that I have's resolution, I'm getting this frame, and you don't have to do that. I might have a 1440p monitor. He might have a 1080p. So he wants to know exactly what it would be for his specific settings. So it makes things like that really, really simple. It's just having a hard drive, carrying your hard drive around. This pretty much turns every internal hard drive into an external hard drive. Now, granted, you can't take it and plug it into your grandma's laptop when you visit her and things like that, but it's still, it allows for it to be transported. If you've got multiple of these, if you've got one of these at work and one at your house, it makes transportation for that easy. And in dealing with transportation, this could easily be, more so than a typical computer, packaged into like a suitcase, and you could actually take it with you. Whether that's something that would be done, I don't know. Typically, if people travel, they're going to take a laptop or something like that. But maybe you are visiting family and you do want to bring your computer because you'll be gone for 2 weeks or something like that, and you just don't want to have to deal with downgraded laptop type of graphics or something like that. Granted, they're very powerful laptops, but this is very cool. And again, this is all so very prototypey. None of this is set in stone. This might never happen. I hope to God this does happen. This is such a cool idea. This has so much potential, like what Steam has done with the Steam machines, to change the way that things work. You saw in one of the images, it showed the thing showing off the choose OS, and then it had a thing for just add OS. I mean, the level of simplicity that this could add for a lot of people, doing things like moving your operating system. If you've got a hard drive and you get a solid state drive and you want to move your Windows from the hard drive to the solid state, that stuff can be very complicated for a lot of people out there. It's not easy. So this just, oh my goodness, when a new operating system comes out, you just, I'll just get the hard drive that has the new OS on it. And things. I mean, it really could change things and make it so easy, so fast, so simplistic, and still offers what PC gaming is all about, which is, user end choice. I'm not limited to one specific thing. If this company goes out of business, well, there's always another one. I get to choose exactly what I want. If I have a great job and I make a ton of money and I want to use that money on just making a stupidly overpowered computer that can play on 6 monitors that are all 1440p, and I can get 120 frames on each and every one of them. And if that's what you want, then there you go. You can get that. Or if you want to just get a cheap PC on one small screen, you can do that. That's what PC gaming is truly all about. Mods is a part that goes into that. You can still get this type of simplicity and then delve into mods, or you can just say, screw it, I don't want to deal with mods. I just want this type of simple experience. It allows all the great aspects of PC customization and choice, but brings in this level of simplicity, and it looks really freaking cool. Not gonna lie, guys. I mean, this thing looks really, really cool. The way it's designed, it definitely has a futuristic kind of slick look. I don't want to say it has an Apple look to it. Apple, I'm not a big fan of Apple in many of their products, but I will say they do a good job with their aesthetic design. They make things look cool and hip, and they're also good at making them seem that way through their marketing. But it pays off, and they do end up looking hip and cool. And this thing, Razer's always done a good job with their aesthetic design, and this just looks cool. The thing just looks smooth. You just want to rub it against your face. Okay, maybe not, but it definitely does look very, very cool. What do you guys think? Is this, for those of you guys that are only console gamers, is this right here enough to get you into PC? If it would be affordable enough, if it's not like $5,000 for this thing, for the equivalent, if you were to just build your own for it to be 600, that is obviously very extreme. But if it's a decent price to performance ratio, and you can literally rent things and just the new thing's out, let me get that. Or, okay, this isn't working out for me. Oh, man, I lost my job. I can't rent the super crazy high-end graphics card. Now I can only rent the medium end or the low end until I can get another job. That kind of stuff is really, really cool. So, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Is this enough to get you into PC gaming, or are there still other reasons why you don't? For those of you guys that are PC gamers like myself, that, yeah, you got consoles, but you're primarily a PC gamer, is this something that you would delve into? Would you completely transfer to this model, or would you stick with what you currently have, where you have custom-built PCs with components that you can mix and match into any case, no matter what brand and things like that? Or are you going to delve into both? Do you have so much money that you can get this crazy enthusiast build that's fully customizable and all that stuff, and still have your own fully decked out customizable PC? One's on the TV, one's on the computer monitor with a computer desk. What are your guys' thoughts? I think this thing is awesome. Again, this is just completely matched with the Steam machines in this bright outlook for PC gaming with the Oculus Rift and Steam, and it's just all these great things going on in the PC gaming universe. And I mean, this just fits right in. I don't know when we expect to see this. I mean, this is some seriously advanced tech. This is just Razer, one company. They've gone from mice and keyboards to this. This is pretty intense. So I don't know when we're going to see this happening down the line. If they've got the funding to mass produce these things that are going to have these brick components for every different type of GPU and CPU. I mean, obviously they can choose which ones they want to support. If they only want to support the latest high-end stuff, then I mean that's what'll happen. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? Are you excited to see this? Because I clearly, if you've been listening this far in, 19 minutes in, then you can tell I'm very excited. So this is just awesome. I cannot wait to see more of what this thing is capable of, and to get some specifics, and to see all the brands that they're going to be picking and going with, all the support that they're going to be getting from all the manufacturers out there. So I can't wait to see more on this CES. I mean, this right here has made this current CES one of the most exciting CESs for me personally. So I can't wait to see more details on this. I hope you guys have enjoyed hearing me just ooze and drool over this thing, but this really is really cool. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Have a good one. Ta-ta.